either a Ned rig or shaky head for like fishing from a boat, because you normally want to fish the bottom and your boat's constantly moving, whether it's wind or whatever, and just because you have to move fast, normally heavier weight will help to have to keep it on the bottom. Another thing is, weedless helms in a pond or whatever, I would say not this, but something like a little tiny bluegill lure that's like in here, like that white curly tail or something like that, on a just a weightless hook. Works really well for bluegill, bass, or whatever when they're real skittish or get spooked easily. That's something else I think works quite well. I don't have as much luck fishing these sort of worms weightless, though I know some people will and cast them under like trees and stuff during fall and early spring when they're really shallow. Like late fall, they'll get normally are probably the easiest to catch in my opinion. Late early fall. There's some other lures I could show you. I just have a bunch. Kitech's really good. It's basically like kind of like a new lure, though. This is one of our old tackle boxes that we used to use. Didn't really have much in it right now. Catfishing is not necessarily another thing. Catfishing is not necessarily as much about bait. It's more so about patience. You may, like, once you catch a bluegill or whatever you're going to use for bait, bluegill probably work better, or shad, or cut bait of some sort. I don't think hot dogs or anything like that works as well. Though, it matters mostly about location, since you're just leaving that bait to sit. You want to actually put it where the catfish are, not on top of them, but you want to put it in where they frequently go there. Because just sitting there, you're not actually locating the catfish. That's something to remember. I have quite a few different lures in here. There's some jig heads. This looks like some for like saltwater more so. You could use it for freshwater or inshore saltwater. But to me, these look a little more like saltwater hooks. I don't really like hard plastic lures, just because I never catch anything on them. Really, I don't fish them as often. I think that's one of the deep diving ones that you could like. I think so. I don't know, since I really don't use them, but I think it's one of the deep diving ones that my dad might want to troll with in saltwater. If you didn't know, we went on vacation towards Alabama, towards the beach. No, I'm not about to go fishing. I'm just sharing some lures. Just don't have much to do. Though, probably go fishing tonight. As in 4 or 5 p.m. So I might have a video at some point. Old cast net. Another lure that I think works well, that is a little bit overrated, but not horribly, is a wacky worm. Wacky worms, the best way I know to fish them is weightless, actually. I don't feel like weight works as well with them, since the slow sinking action is normally what gets the fish. It kind of flutters down. Yes, I'm fishing for bass, and not right now, though that's what I'm talking about. To me, bluegill and all that, the easiest way to catch them, of course, worms always works better, grasshoppers. But as far as lures, probably just a weightless tube lure. Like there should be some, or just white curly tail grub or whatever. Just some little tiny bluegill lure with a light hook. My PB bass, I don't know. It might be around. I'm gonna say a little bit under 4 pounds, somewhere near 4 pounds. The best lures, shaky head. I don't do a whole lot of lures like saltwater, offshore and stuff. I've seen a lot of people use metal, whatever. Like I've seen the people using like pliers and jigging it. I don't see how the people catch double digit bass. To me, a 4 pound bass is amazing. Because once you basically anything above 3 pounds is starting to be just seems impossible. Really, anything above 4 pounds, I guess, just seems very hard to catch because it's just very gradual. Now, I heard of some people. I heard of this video where they were using one of the giant spoons that were like for muskie and stuff. 7 pounds, that's really good. If you think about how many people fish for bass, it's like the number one fish in freshwater, and the factor that the biggest one is like 22 pounds, that's not too far off. Even though it does kind of progressively get harder to catch, that 7 pounds is really nice. That's the that's the reel I broke using a gotcha plug, and it just kind of fell apart. Basically, a gotcha plug is like a spoon, kind of like a jigging spoon or whatever, not like a flutter spoon. Tennessee, and thank you. 67 bluegills a lot. I mean, like, I think more normal for this time of year is probably like 12 bluegill if you fish for them quite frequently. So 67 bluegill is a lot to me. We normally only would keep it like a maximum of 12 bluegill. At the old pond I used to live there. I don't mind giving shout outs. You want me to do it on like a short or video or something? Yeah, it seems like the YouTube shorts just seem to get in trending much easier for whatever reason. Though I don't, it's not quite the same as a video. Videos seem to be more gradual, though it's hard to get monetized from shorts. That's something I will say. Anything else? Oh, spinners are fairly well traversable. If I thought I saw one, could be wrong. No, just bass jigs. The spinners, another thing I would say, bass spinners are fairly good depending on the time of year because of this. You can catch smaller ones will catch crappie fairly well. I'll probably just do one. Might try to catfish at Duck River. So if I catch anything there, I'll upload a short. Trying to see if I can't subscribe. From live stream, I don't know how to go to your channel. So would you comment on the video? Because it just brings up pin or whatever options that it doesn't say. Give the option to go to channel. Some things I will say that is helpful, just something that I figured to do is bring tackle sometimes. Like you'll park at a spot, you go fishing, walk off from where you leave the tackle in the vehicle, and then you break off first cast. Then you have to walk all the way back to the vehicle, which is just don't really care for that. So it's easier to bring tackle in my opinion. Here's some other poles that would. Some of them are for saltwater. Also, wary that I've seen a snake. So there's like this one pole that has a grasshopper, which is probably one of the few hard plastic baits I've caught fish on. Is this little tiny green grasshopper? Most of these don't have lures on them since they're old poles or whatever reason. This one is new. I think that's a nice one that my dad bought. No, I don't know how to fly fish. I think I would be good at it since I normally cast like for bluegill. I'll just do non-weighted whatever and cast it, let it slowly sink, and they'll take it. So I think I would be good at it. Though I know the problem would be is casting up in trees since you have to have a good amount of area because you're basically like weighted line. I think fly fishing is very difficult, and that's fairly common for how difficult it is. From what I know, especially for trout, but people will still do it for bluegill, crappie, whatever, bass. They'll even do it saltwater for like bonefish. I've seen. So these are good lures, just like a Ned head hook or Ned rig hook. So basically, you want a like flat blunt hook or weight on the hook, and then you have like the normal bass hook that you do weedless with. Thank you for joining. I've seen to get quite a few people just from doing a live stream, which surprises me since I don't do much. I try to talk, try to be somewhat entertaining, but this seems quite a few people for a live stream like this. So, I just now thought about this. How would you fish a shaky head or any soft plastic with a weight? Almost always just want to slowly reel it and make sure it's on the bottom. So if there's a drop off or something, you want to give it slack, and at the beginning of each cast, you want to give it slack. You can roll cast, and the line will stay on the water, and also know how to fish, but I never actually bring a fly rod with me. I think I might know what you're talking about, but I don't know. I don't fly fish, so I don't know what a roll cast is. I normally see people where they almost bring the lure above their head type thing, cast that way, kind of like a whip or something like the line. The way they do it, and they'll slowly get farther away. Something silly I have seen people or YouTubers do is they'll take some lure like white curly tail grub, and they'll remove the tail as normally colder water stuff, so they don't want as much action. So to me, that's just silly, but apparently helps them. And small lures are the best way to catch more species of fish. I say about the I don't know, middle that would catch a great variety of fish is a Ned rig. It's just like a small Cinco with a shaky head weighted hook type thing. So I would say a bass spinner is great. I just mainly use soft plastic lures. Bass spinners don't think you count as that. So I would say soft plastic lures, then some sort of slower action or of metal lures or whatever you want to call it, like more so shad imitations, and then like your crankbaits and stuff. Then top water, I would say would be somewhere in the middle. Depends on what you use. If you use a frog or something, I don't feel like that would work too well. If you use a frog that you can have a little bit more action, that normally works better than the weedless V-shaped tail I use. There's no drag on those things. You have to pull the fish in by hand for the most part. That's about the only problem with fly rods besides learning with the easy. It, learning with it is easy. So what I didn't know there was no drag. I kind of looks like it's like a giant reel that the line's like inside the reel. I don't or I don't know. You can have to it's just a round little tire almost, and the line's inside there, and then you have a bait caster reel. I think it's not like a spinning reel where it's at top and then it spins. It's more so like a wheel, a little bit simpler design in my opinion. So one of the best colors, just overall, I hear is green pumpkin. That, in my opinion, this white or black are some of the better colors since they stand out the most. I feel like it makes a good difference as well. So I think just overall scenario, white and black is a fairly good color for just white's probably better though. White is a little black spots or something, so it stands out in the water. Normally works really well. Another thing is I just now thought about this. A little bit different lure, like the little hair lures or whatever you call them, almost like feather like material. I think there's might be one in here. Yeah, there's one right there. Something like that. There's larger ones. That's like a crappie one. That I would say they can catch nice fish. Though it's either that they do really well or they don't. kind of like topwater. It just seems like that to me. I mean, like topwater is more so that way. Either does really well or just doesn't work at all. So the best fish, or the most fun fish, in my opinion, to catch, I'm gonna have to say, as far as freshwater, just because they're a little bit more aggressive, is white bass. They're the most fun fish to catch because they're a little bit more active than like largemouth bass. The largemouth bass, when you finally catch a nice one, it's better than catching white bass. But white bass are so much more consistent that it's just way more fun once you find a school of them. Normally near current, like from dams or whatever, or tailwaters, or there's a, I don't know, like place where two rivers meet. Sometimes we'll have them, or a creek channel that's flowing good. There has to be current almost, and then a ledge or something that normally is really good. You'll catch skipjack, herring, or gizzard, not gizzard shad. Don't remember what else they call them. Hickory shad, I believe. That's another name for skipjack herring. I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the live stream. See ya. I just don't know what to talk about anymore.